All right, you know how to start. You know what to start it with.
Minivan Musician goes max.
No. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Is that my drink?
Shabbat Shalom. Shout out to Jose.
All right, first things first. I want to tell people a way to help small creators. It's the hype button if you don't know what it is. If you ain't using it, it definitely costs you nothing. Go down, hit like. When you hit like, when you look in the comment section or where you would leave a comment, it's going to bring up a hype thing. Hit that button. It helps small creators compete with the big guys, compete with the mainstream media. We have a whole lot of cool stuff, not just on the Charlie Kirk thing on the channel. What's that? Oh.
My hair's driving me nuts, y'all. Anyway.
And we also have like a whole series on Gaza. We're going to do one last episode to that, but we ended up covering a lot more than expected in the episodes we did.
Do more than one.
Yeah, as time goes on. Series, yeah. And we do have a Patreon, and we do have a member section here right now. The Patreon has like 100 videos we did way in the past. Some of them you get a kick out of. Some of them are actually very serious, and there's some pretty good episodes there that aren't here. And as far as the members thing, I'm going to figure that out in the next couple of days, and I'll offer a bunch of stuff. Probably too much like I always do.
Yeah, write it in now. Think like the misers.
Yeah, and definitely check out our most recent affidavit episode. And we also talk about the debate with Andrew Wilson and Candace, which we'll talk about here later. The affidavit episode takes apart the affidavit step by step that they have against Tyler Robinson. And I believe, I mean, you can argue with me in the comments or whatever. You can argue with me in person. I believe that if this were anyone else in any other situation, this guy would not. He wouldn't be sitting in jail.
See a trial, that's for sure.
No, at best they'd have him as part of a conspiracy.
Yep.
That's my opinion, because there's just too much there. You have to look at it. It's just point by point. We kind of refute every single point, and we talked a little bit about what we thought would happen in the big debate, and a lot of it was right. Definitely check out our old episodes on this topic, so you can see that we've been doing this a long time. We probably have over 1,000 hours of research each.
Coming up on 1 year soon for Charlie.
Yeah.
So, we've been doing that topic for a year.
So check out, I'll put it here, the Israel episode, meaning we ran it through AI and stuff like that with all the factors that were a part of everything, and it told us the percentage chance that Israel was actually behind it. We did this like, I don't know, it was like a month in. Yeah, and we have a whole playlist I'll put here that gives you all of the TPUSA lies, from an episode on Erica Kirk's mental state or her psychiatric evaluation. There's all kinds of fun stuff, and her entire timeline leading up to this. And if you watch our videos, you'll know why we're coming at her, or whatever you want to call it in those videos.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah.
In the words of Ben Shapiro, I'm sure some stupid crap you say.
And always remember to leave a comment, even to say we're terrible. I don't care.
Yeah, please.
Just get some interaction. I love to see people argue and debate. Keep it reasonably civil, but I'm not going to personally moderate anyone up out of there. And also, I want to announce to anybody out there that's with the Fed slop on this, that's, the type that are pro-Israel. I'm making myself available to debate, is basically what I'm doing. Stuff like this, chances are I know enough to where I'm comfortable debating, and if I think there's a reason that we want to debate and get to the truth for people to see, I'm open to it. So definitely let's do that. First thing I want to say about this whole situation is that all the truth seekers win, because like you said, it's been a year. It's about to be a year.
Yeah.
And this is still, one way or another, always essentially like the viral story.
This man right here on my shirt is still the center of the whole thing.
And we're going to talk about some stuff. Like if we think anything different about him after coming to our conclusions that we have in this episode.
Yeah, learned a lot in the last year.
And after all of the studying and everything else. But yeah, it is a win. And also, like we talked about before, all of the people coming together and basically researching this, doing a full crowdsourced investigation.
Yeah.
It shows a lot of unity between people. It shows like a we're not going to take it type of attitude towards the system.
Mm-hmm.
It's kept his name alive.
It brought parties together too, believe it or not. People say it split them. It's like, yeah, it also broke one up, but it brought some a little bit together,
Yeah, the Candace Wilson. I'm sorry, Candace. My God. Oh, my
He
God.
wishes.
I was up too early today.
Mm.
The Candace Owens, Andrew Wilson debate, people were saying this is where the right is divided. And what's interesting about that is not really. Yes, okay, he's got the side of the Fed sloppers, but where it's really divided has to do with Israel, point blank, period. That's pretty much it. But honestly, he's supposedly an anti Zionist. So is she. That one big line that is through the Conservative Party, they actually agree on.
Yeah.
You know, they should have had a kumbaya moment at the end of it where, he said, Candace, I disagree with you, but I also hate Israel. That would have gone a long way. But, we saw who talked trash in the closing and stuff, and for a reason. So we'll get to that later. So, anyways, the Charlie Kirk assassination. Okay, was it fake?
Was it fake? It was supposed to be fake.
Okay, so there's a level of fakeness. Not really gayness, but fakeness.
Not that we know of.
I'm not sure. We will tell you in a minute why she said it was supposed to be fake and what we think happened to him specifically in just a minute. But I just wanted to run down how it's fake, or why. We'll go with the why first. Obviously, I think that it was going to be an attempted.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd have an injury.
It would be like a Trump's ear situation.
Yeah, like we're of the belief that there's a chance that Trump's injury wasn't even real. And we've seen some pretty interesting, I'll call it proof behind that thing being a complete and utter setup. So something like that, where you guys have to understand, I was talking to somebody in the PVD comments during the debate, and they were not aware that the Biden administration basically told, I'm paraphrasing, but told TPUSA and others that if they remained in office, or if it would have been Kamala, or next time they're in office, they were going to pursue Charlie Kirk and TPUSA for basically fraudulently. They were illegally, basically.
You can't be campaigning and be a 501.
Right. They were clearly. There's no loophole with this one.
No.
The accountant, I think it's Brian. I don't know, but he's on DD Got a Podcast. But also, Wolves in Finance talked about this, dug deep, and I want to say thanks to somebody did too. Anyways, the fact of the matter is they're doing something illegal. It was big. It's all but accepted by everyone that January 6th was funded by TPUSA.
Yeah.
They were going after them, and Charlie Kirk being the face of it, he being, as everybody says, even the other side, Charlie Kirk was the most important person, essentially.
Yeah, he would have been the one taking the hit for all of it,
Right. Well, put it this way, adding on to that, right before he passed, he called for the Doge type edit on TPUSA's books.
Yeah.
And he changed a bunch of stuff around, including his own life insurance stuff or something, or his will.
Yeah.
He changed some things that clearly had something to do with that. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at something like that, if you've taken in a lot of true crime, if you know some criminals, whatever the case may be, you know that even though he's the guy at the top, if these guys are doing most of the money stuff and everything, and you're the face of it, it's all going to fall on you. They want you to rat and give up all those guys. Chances are, if it's Tyler Boyer, which seemed like it was, and some others.
All those Blake Neff.
Yeah, they're doing it elsewhere too. And they did this with your organization. So, you're going to talk. That's a reason that I think that, and you may be thinking, like, wouldn't they do him in? I believe that his thought process was there would be an attack on him that was serious enough to where he stepped down.
Yeah.
And he would kind of lay low for a little while, and he would slowly kind of get out there and do his own thing with Tucker, do a special event.
Exactly.
Same thing, same timing, obviously. He would have slowly started getting out there with the anti-Israel stuff. Yeah. Anti-Zionist stuff.
At least exposing some things.
Yeah, and so I think that they saw this as a way that he he's going to separate himself. He's not going to do too much to hurt TPUSA.
He's not going to badmouth him.
Exactly. Maybe any charges in the future would be kind of set aside because, well, we can't even get Charlie on this.
Right.
Really. He's not involved anymore. He stepped down. Conservative movement took a hit because of our threat. That's what they would think. It just seems like that makes sense as far as an actual motive. I mean, in that case, too, it seems like he was trying to figure out which one of his friends was betraying him, whether it's financial or otherwise. And I think he wanted to save some people that are involved in that. Could have been his wife, could have been whoever. So I really believe that he was going to do that, step away. And also, it would have kind of, like Blake Neff was saying, it was supposed to, his death was supposed to, the guy says, unite the right, not divide it. Unite the right against the lunatic left. Yeah. Despite the whole Israel message and maybe even Iran war disagreements, it would still be the left is the political worry. They're doing all this violent stuff, and Charlie was so good at conveying that without just being, like some people come off as though they're racist or classist or hateful.
They assumed it would brought all of us, together. That's what it was supposed to do. Kind of like when Trump, the ear situation, it was like, we were stronger than ever at that point. Like, okay, we are not letting this ride, so that's what they thought.
So he may have seen a peaceful thing where it was, he still gets to go out and say his messages. So it's not like he's being weak in the situation. It's not like he's bowing down and saying, I'll never talk about this. I'll never talk about
he
that.
Stepped away, heal and be with family for a while.
Right.
And that would have been it.
How is it fake? I just have to say the squib right away.
Yeah.
I mean, the man is wearing a tube, and I will show images throughout this. There is a tube on him. There's a lot of really good pictures out there that show that. Definitely check out Try and Prove It's channel. He's done an amazing job of recreating this thing, and he's gotten to the point where when you do it a certain way, you can't not recreate it. Mm-hmm. It makes total sense. It makes sense of there is, as I'll show here. Now this doesn't necessarily go to the squib. This could go to an actual explosive device, but there is a puff of white smoke that comes out of his shirt.
There is, yeah.
Explain that.
And you can slow the frames down to very visible.
Yeah, you can. I couldn't believe it. That was the one thing that I hadn't seen. And the reason we did this episode is because there are images you'll see here that kind of gave us our definitive answer on what all of this is. I was actually watching someone else's show. It was Jesse and Dee Dee got a podcast together on a show. Like their point would have given the opposite point of what we're about to say. Yeah. But it reminded me of something from very early on that just jumped out at me. And I said, oh my God, how did I not see this? So anyways, you've got the squib situation, behavior of the blood.
Right.
I watched a lot of experts talk about the way that would fall out and how they have a problem with this on movie sets and things like that. There was allegedly a guy there at the event who does this stuff as one of the top guys. Yeah, I've seen so many recreations of this, and you cannot recreate any of the other theories. So with all this other stuff kind of, woven together, this is kind of what I see. There's also the hand signs.
Oh, yeah.
That this whole thing was kind of, some people have said it, it was like a play or a movie.
Yep.
So you have all these people, and there are places. They're out there, and they're doing their hand signs, and they're communicating with each other.
There's a guy in the bush.
Yeah, there literally was a guy in the bush.
A guy on the roof.
Remember?
Another guy on the roof.
Yes, and there's all these distractions and everything made to make the thing confusing.
Right.
So you've got the T-shirt has the issue, and I'm not trying to hear this transferred energy from the bullet. It doesn't.
No.
It's not accurate.
Come on now. Yeah, we're past that.
Now we've seen this recreated in the way that we're saying, but never with a bullet. There's a lot of funny stuff where, number one, the main witnesses at first said he was hit in the chest.
Yep.
There's a discrepancy there. It does play more into the next part, but it popped into my head and I remembered it. There's a lot of weird stuff with like the administration, the state law enforcement, the local Leos, all of them who seem to be breaking every normal rule.
Yeah.
And
never do any other side.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a very big focus on imagery. Like, we have a short that I'll link down below that shows Frank Turek following Charlie's wound. I mean, I never noticed. I can't believe I didn't notice this before.
Yeah,
I mean, he doesn't jump, into action right away. He's holding that phone perfectly on him.
Yeah,
and
handing it the whole way down
yes,
as Charlie's body falls the whole way.
Mm-hmm. And there's, footage out there later. And I mean, he holds it there like he's basically trying to get what will look off.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to manage all of the footage is what they're trying to do and control the narrative. It has to be. I don't know what other weird, unless it's some morbid type of thing he's doing there. But just holding it so steady.
You don't know how you would react in that situation. You've never been in that situation. Shut up. You wouldn't be panning and filming your boy falling over.
We need to get back to common sense.
I mean, come on now. If you would, then you're pretty messed up.
And there is now really great footage that sees over Frank's back at times, and you see it with Mikey too.
Mm-hmm.
They are looking at drone footage, but Charlie up close is down in a corner.
Yep.
So they're kind of watching both. They're watching drones that supposedly weren't there.
Yeah.
And they're watching Charlie up close, and they're trying to see, what direction is this going to look like. I believe that they're trying to figure out which part of the script they're going to tell.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
like
which one is going to fall into play and work with all the moving parts.
This shows my age, but there's these books called Choose Your Own Adventure back in the day.
My favorite.
And, you would choose at the end of a chapter or whatever, and it'd take you to a different place, different storyline. Yeah, and I think that's what they had to do here because it was so complicated. Purposely complicated. The wound, the blood, the puff of air, or the air in the shirt, the puff of smoke, just all of it. The way that he falls, the way that people are behaving, all the distractions, all the new cameras. And that's another thing. So they have a woman there who's got this big, beautiful camera, man.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks like 20th Century Fox doing like a Marvel movie or something on set. And they've got all these, but yet his entire crew is being real intent on filming with phones.
Mm-hmm.
And filming, obviously, with drones. So I'm seeing that and I'm going, okay, this is kind of weird. So you're looking at it going, it looks like it could be fake. I understand how you might not be totally there at this point, but it makes sense for motive. It makes sense the way these people are acting. If they solely set him up to end him, I don't think they would act the way that they've acted. I think that they would have their story down a little tighter.
Yeah.
I think that you'd even see a little anger towards each other when one screws the story up.
Right.
But they're so aloof about it. They're so like I said, that the witnesses are saying one thing, this guy's saying another, Frank Turek.
They just pretend that it was never said, and they just continue on, and people allow that. That's the problem. They allow it.
And you're not seeing a lot of guilt. The other day, they were showing, it was Charlie's, one of his assistants, but had been with him for a long time. And after it, I think this is 90 seconds later, he's just casually walking around at UVU. He's over on the other side of the place. He puts his sunglasses on and he's chilling. You're not seeing a lot of, you're not seeing even the behavior of people necessarily that are guilty, but you're not seeing the behavior of people who just had their friend done in front of them and they knew nothing about it.
Cry or anything. I mean,
no way. I don't see it. Or the way that they weren't planning to render medical and things like that. But see, this is where everything meshes. What I'm trying to tell you, and I think Danielle's on board now, it was meant to be fake, and they did him in anyway.
Yep.
I think he agreed to it for the reason we said, and there were people, and we'll try to figure out who, in the plot, who were doing it for real. Well, I'll just tell you what made me realize this is true. When we were saying it was probably fake, she just felt in her gut, and I know we're not allowed to feel things in our gut anymore, but she felt in her gut that there's no way that he was actually gone.
No.
Or, I'm sorry, he wasn't alive.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, he's still alive, he's still alive. No.
And you're like, why am I so sad then? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
You just had a feeling he was gone, and I agree.
I still feel it.
I don't think he ever planned to be gone.
No.
But I think that he is. And it was really hard to reconcile once we started seeing the theories that made sense. Okay, I believe in the squib, but I also believe that he was taken out by some sort of explosion.
Yeah. Not a bullet.
No. A bullet might have been fired to get a sound or something.
Sure.
Or, a lot of times they'll have multiple guys doing different things, and it's like, who did him in? Which narrative will we go with? Which one looks the most true? But the thing that got me on that were some very high quality photos that were on Barron's podcast.
Yeah.
Shout out to Barron and Charles McClintock. I
Yeah.
thought there's a third name in there somewhere, but if there is, sorry about that. But first off, we saw the hands.
Mm-hmm.
And the hands had some sort of burns on them.
Yeah.
It's not bruising.
No, they're clearly burned.
He died instantly. Now, especially if we're going to follow the medical examiner's report, because all of his vertebrae were knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, we talked about it in the last one, lights out. You can't even do this. But I obviously think they're lying in the medical report because that doesn't make any sense. He's doing this. You saw those marks on his hands. And I know that naysayers on it would say that's blood. It's not blood.
No.
You can see the first drops of blood. If you slow the stuff down, you can see which ways his hands are turned and things like that. No, this is like that immediately. It's not the right color to be that.
Yeah.
It's not behaving that way on his skin. And it's not bruising.
No.
Whether he was gone immediately or gone 20 seconds later, no, it's absolutely not bruising. So what do we have left?
Yeah, if you've ever been burned, even just like a little, superficial burn, you know what a burn looks like.
I mean, it's some kind of burn. I can't really totally explain it. There may be an electrical charge with it. It could be an electrocution. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what caused it for sure, but it definitely appears to be burns.
But I see it, and then the other picture I'll put in here, where they're carrying him, the picture shows red all over his chest and a big missing patch.
Yeah.
That just so happens to be right around the size of the Rode microphone receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously you can measure it based on parts of his body and things like that. And we know how big that receiver thing is. And I do believe that this goes back to the fake thing. I missed it. They're tearing stuff off of his body.
Yeah.
Also, to paint a narrative that it was going to be fake, he would have definitely shared with the world that he kind of might be taken out by someone, and he would have kind of built it up. And now you're hearing that Andrew Wilson has a text where he did say the left.
Yeah.
I don't know about the validity of that. But,
mm-hmm.
And I mean, you got to look at the police stuff too, where they you just keep his phone. Here's his necklace, got blood all over it. Just no evidence. We don't need that. Pave over this stuff. Come on, dude. I mean, in all honesty, the fake makes more sense for that stuff there, because at least people, when they play along with it and just follow orders and don't think too much, they're not implicated in a murder, okay?
Yeah.
Technically it's not even illegal for him to fake that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was going in and doing that, but they were tearing stuff off his body, very obviously. He had the tube, but we do see wounds. Oh, and Terrell's announcement, the way that he just went boom right to his spot. Corner. Oh yeah, it was rehearsed. You had what's his name, Hunter Kozak,
mm-hmm.
practicing his reaction first.
Yeah.
You also now we see there's a woman who's their main the video girl I mentioned. She actually barely moves when the shot happens, and then she gets all up in there.
Yeah.
It's like she knew it was coming. You had no reaction from Mikey. It was not natural at all.
No.
Charlie, obviously, we feel like we know why they went through with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about financial motive. Never seen financial. It's financial motive like I've never seen before,
Yeah.
Like you've never ever seen.
Strait of Hormuz is going to be a U.S. territory by the end of tonight. He said that, actually.
Really?
Not by the end of tonight, I don't think. But yeah, just one of the things.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the entire thing, the horrible investigation. It's like people can't be that bad. We said that about the Trump thing. We've said it about the White House thing. We've said it about several things where it's like, dude, people aren't this bad.
No.
Professionals are not this bad. These guys that were on his security team, quote unquote, we keep letting them off the hook with, not giving, proper emergency care. And well, number one, they say that the EMS that were there,
Yeah.
that they ran and hid for cover like everybody else.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
They were there trying to get involved and stuff, and they were waved off. But those guys, his security guys, I'll put it in quotes, they're all medically trained.
Yeah.
They're guys that know how to dress people in the field.
Like ex-military.
So they're going to hang him upside down, where he would be bleeding. I mean, they're just flopping him around.
No pressure at one time to that wound.
No. And
Like,
no life-saving attempts. And also, it did seem that they may be trying to conceal some of these wounds. Like, that's just, to me, common sense.
And whatever equipment he had on him.
The Fort Huachuca thing goes back to the part of this that would be fake, because it's where they train for the psyops, and they've done some movies and all that kind of stuff. And now it's looking like there is a little more proof that some of those guys were there. Mm-hmm. At the very least, Andrew Colvit's brother was very powerful for many years there, but he's the type of guy, Andrew, that says, "Oh, some base, I don't know this." Okay.
You sound like an emergency room patient.
Right. Oh, speaking of emergency rooms, Brian Harple, takes him in there and jumps up on him and cuts the shirt, man. And he's like, let's talk about meds and then, get him a line and this kind of stuff. And they come and brought him scrubs so he could scrub in. And I'm just like, dude, are we being serious? He put the IV back in himself. My Lord, it's ridiculous.
I don't know if he said that, but I mean,
he may have. Who knows?
He said everything.
Who knows if it even had, like, if
there
they even took him in that place.
Blood on his lips or something, or what? Mm-hmm. On Mikey's
blood
face.
On my lips. Like, and then Mikey said his face. There was no. Well, Mikey didn't say it. His dad said it.
Yeah.
But Brian said blood on his face. No, there wasn't. There was no additional blood other than what you saw. Because number one, they hung him upside down and no more come out, except a few drops. So there wasn't no more coming, which means it was a squib. But number two, by the time they get in there, and they're supposedly, number one, the guy says he crammed 3 yards. Maybe it's 3 feet. No, I think it's 3 yards of the gauze into the wound.
Yeah.
Into that wound? Are we serious right now? That little exit wound that wasn't an exit wound? That was a fake wound? I mean, you can even look at his neck and see that it's not right and stuff. But I believe the snake eyes thing matters.
Yeah.
I do. I think it, with all the other stuff, here, I'll play an Andrew Wilson. With everything else, I think that it helps. It helps me to feel like there's overwhelming evidence, to which I'm 75% sure.
And what are the charges again?
Yeah, right. So, I mean, as far as him actually being gone, Charlie had this game face thing going that day that no one's ever brought up, probably because it's like, oh, you can't bring anecdotal stuff into this like that, or circumstantial stuff. But I mean, he was going along with some of the hand signs, and he did make sure he picked up and put down that mic in kind of a weird way. He did it sometimes, but the timing of it,
weird sitting position, even though he kind of looked like, what is this? But you're like, okay,
right. And there is some of it looks to be very accurate. Guys, New Dream, he has a thing where it shows like lip reading with what they're saying to each other, including Charlie.
Yeah. And
it sounds very much like Charlie is setting something like this up. Yeah. Everybody's on point. They're doing this stuff. They're throwing gang signs, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. You've got Hunter Kozak seems to be a part of it because he's practicing his reactions and things like that. They're yelling at people not to touch the mic. Do touch the mic. Oh, my God, we got to get the mic adjusted. Meanwhile,
he's got a mic.
And he's got a mic on his body that's inside of his shirt.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Why do you put a mic inside of your shirt, people?
To conceal it.
That right there, probably whoever put it there is who is kind of in charge of the actual device and knew everything that happened as far as actually carrying the thing out. I mean, there's just too many inconsistencies. I fully believe that this was meant to be fake.
Yeah.
It was carried out. And the reason why you see so much crosstalk messing up of the narrative between them or what happened, their testimony, which is going to have to be testimony someday. I believe that that's because many of those people did not know this was going to happen.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of people in on it. and there was only a select number that knew it was actually going to be carried out in full.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll go into who we think in a few. We may vary on that. And I want to hear who people think may have been involved in it on his side. Even if you don't totally buy into either one of these, just do you think anyone was involved? If so, who and why? They had to take him out. I think just like with some of the people in his life, I think he kind of like underestimated the problems, the friction, the possible conclusion to all of this. Because I think that he thought, yeah, I can go off, quietly into the sunset. And every now and then I'll get to speak my mind. I get to spend more time with my kids. They get to continue that thing. My legacy is still good. TPUSA is still great. If things go bad with them, it's like, wow, after Charlie left, it really
Everything
went
fell
bad.
apart.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's absolutely, it makes sense.
That was the
However,
only way you could possibly walk away from the cause that he wanted to leave, too.
yes, but you couldn't walk away from
That's
it.
what I mean.
Yeah, it's just,
That was the only way he could walk away.
right. We've talked about it extensively. Go back to the other episodes. I mean, you probably know enough now to know what we would say anyway. But I don't think that that's something that you could just say, hey guys, here, I'll do this. I'll just go away.
It's like being held up by a serial killer who just freaking, did all kinds of horrible things to you. And you see his face. I promise I won't tell anyone. I swear I won't go to the police.
And there's too much with
There's
it.
a risk there.
There's too much between the cell phones, the weird behavior of Israel, the fact how much money was on the line. And then you got to think, I had somebody ask me in the comments today, like, do you really think that they take out their golden goose? I was like, I said, use AI, go to Google, whatever. Tell me how much TPUSA was worth before Charlie was gone. Tell me how much it's worth now.
Yeah.
It's worth a lot more now. Nothing makes you money like that. Just like they say, Biggie was killed by his people. Pac was killed by his people. They always say that record labels like encourage guys to overdose and stuff.
Nobody till somebody kills you.
Exactly. Shout out to Biggie. Rest in peace, brother. So, I mean, really, it's a lot of stuff that blends together. I kind of wanted to tell y'all, like, well, here's how it's fake, and here's how it's real. But the two really do play into each other as far as like the behavior, the stuff we found of where these people were and what they did in response to it. It's just all, even things down to like the plant exploding and everybody dying that was in the plant that makes the explosive that people say might have happened in the situation.
Right.
But maybe it wasn't that type of explosive because you may not have the sound for it. I don't know. All I'm saying is that he had extensive injuries on his outer body that are not explained by the official narrative. They're not explained by
blunt force trauma to the chest, right, or something like that.
Yeah, the injuries that happened to his chest and stuff, like, while technically they could happen from a powerful gunshot wound.
Yeah, but pounds of pressure wise, it's not likely.
And also, that little hole he had in his neck would not have caused all of that, and he wasn't even pushed back.
Yeah.
There's physics here that's missing, and people just keep buying it, and I can't stand it. But I will say that John Bray has done just absolutely great work on this. I'm not saying that, like, the explosion didn't happen. I'd even propose that maybe it did, and there was an electrocution involved that was a complete mechanical accident. I don't know. All I know is that he had wounds that do not fit the narrative. I do believe, and here's how we figured it out. Jeez, I can't believe I forgot this. It's because of what we thought of the picture in the casket initially.
Oh, yeah, the hands. Tiny
We thought
hands.
they looked real small. We thought that they were the wrong color. Like, it was very exactly.
And they
very
were
pronounced.
the wrong color because they had to put makeup on them.
And it's a lot of makeup. Yeah. And if you look real close, now I couldn't find the shot that shows the matching marks on top of the hand so much, but if you look in here, you're going to see matching marks that are in that picture that we showed. I'll put them both through here. You're seeing matching marks.
Yeah.
This is what made me realize they meant to fake it, but they took him out.
Yeah.
If they faked it and he has these same marks on his body alive, and if he did somehow end up with those wounds, are they really going to put him in a casket alive and do all the makeup and everything like that. Several other people at the thing, I guess the showing,
I guess
whatever it is.
Well, they were holding the camera.
I love you. Talking into a mic that's in her mouth.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So what dawned on me is, and I come running into her in the bedroom. I figured something out. I figured it out. I'm done. I have no more argument about pretty much any of this. It only makes sense that those marks are on those hands if he was actually taken out.
Yeah.
The same marks, people, is what I'm telling you. You see these mystery marks on those pictures of him that Barron and others have covered. They're undeniable. It's not, you can do whatever you want with this photograph, and you're not going to find some weird thing that happened from lighting. Yeah, I tried. It's a legit picture. It's not an optical illusion. In fact, it goes across several different pictures. So it's not that. It would exactly. The statistical likelihood that it's going to be in all of them is crazy. No. So, I mean, yeah, there is a little bit of blood on one or two of the pictures, but you can clearly tell what the difference is, which one's not. So you've got the same wounds when it happens as you have in the casket. It made me realize, wait a minute, let me look again. His hands weren't that big for a guy his size.
Yeah.
His woman's hands look tiny, but they are a little bigger than we realize because she's a tall basketball playing woman.
Mm-hmm.
The hands are actually accurate. The fingers are shaped oddly, just like his real thing. They are his real fingers. Yeah. They're just they tried to cover up that wound, those wounds, and you can see it. And no, he doesn't have scars on those parts of his hand.
You can go and look.
You can go look anywhere. You will not find that. So that's what made me realize it. I said, oh my God, they actually did do him in. And I said, does that discount the squib? I was like, no, both things can be true at the same time. I don't see any other way that this could have gone. I don't see how it was, they did him in just period, because he wouldn't have had the squib on. No. He wouldn't have allowed it to be set up in this really weird way.
He was scared at this point in time, too, people. Like, we see that now from texts and whatnot that Candace has shown. Whatever you think of Candace, I don't give a flying crap. She's right about pretty much everything when it comes to this. So we see that he was scared. He was afraid for his life, like, for real this time. Like, for once, actually afraid for his life. So he wouldn't have been going into the situation and just, like, all these little weird things. Like, he would have been like, oh, hell no, I'm out of here. Like, I know what this is. Like a mob movie when they drive you out to the field,
Weak security detail, basically no assistance with the security.
Yeah, no.
I mean, just the way it was set, everything was set up for his life to end. I mean, and it's a very... Everybody knows what was new that day and how everything has changed around. And you have the weird things where it looks like they moved all these people out of that hospital. They took him to a hospital that he probably shouldn't have went to. It was further away. Yeah. What I will say is that the Google Trends show searches for that particular surgeon, that hospital, and others involved in advance that only happened since July of that year when he started having his problems with that other country. And they were coming from D.C. and is just like the ones when we started talking about it. And God, we were only at like 1,000 views at that point, but like our Google Trends it was them.
Yeah.
They started getting looked at, certain keywords and things will pop up. So people that had never been searched before, you guys can go back and watch Barron's stuff. I mean, all of this is proven, not alleged, proven. Everybody that's involved in this that's new happens to get searched in the months leading up to this via Google Trends. You can see the giant spikes, and they've never been searched before. They've been searched very little. So what I'm saying is there's too many strange things like that. Obviously, people at the hospital knew. Now, just like with any operation, everybody doesn't know everything.
Right.
Like, we're not even saying that there's a really good chance that Tyler Robinson was totally involved in all this.
Could have been.
It's just, your job.
Yeah, your role, your one role.
In the way that he's acted with this, the way that he supposedly turned himself in and all this kind of stuff, I believe that with that, he decided to kind of go rogue. Like, in other words, they said, okay, this is just hypothetical. You got 4 people, kind of like with a firing squad. They're not necessarily going to know who's
going to hit.
Yeah, I keep avoiding certain words, but whatever. Kind of like that, and I've heard of assassinations going that way before. Mm-hmm. And so at the last minute, I think that, they probably told him, like, you're just going to be a part of this. You do this little thing, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, the entire world is after him and him only.
Yeah,
with this weak motive. Yeah, they just picked the guy. Like, they needed it quickly because something went wrong.
Like, hurry, who was in line on this? Okay, yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm. He decided to go real far away and go get something to eat, which Diligent Denizen did post a receipt. He did go there 3 hours away. The stuff that was sent through the Discord server about him sitting there watching, trying to get to his gun, it's not true. Mm-hmm. So the whole timeline is screwed up. It's all fed slop.
Yeah, it doesn't even exist.
But this guy changed the game. He was trying to figure out probably what he's going to do. So, he had said, I'm going out in a blaze of glory. And then he originally said my doppelganger did something.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting. He keeps changing what he says he's going to do.
Oh, yeah.
And he's all over the place with it. And I think that him turning himself in that way, whichever way it actually went, they tried to change the timeline and everything from there, too, meaning there's no video of him being arrested. There's no video of him being brought in the police station. No video in the waiting room as he's turning himself in. None where he's being questioned. None where he got transferred. None where he gave his final statement or whatever.
Yeah.
None when he got transferred to the prison.
None. 0.
Fine. I'll buy that every lens is a potato lens and at UVU.
Right. Yeah.
Here's something real fun to throw at you guys. And you can go look this up. Like, I hope there's a sleuth out there that'll look this up because there's ways that you can. Tell me where the flock cameras are at UVU.
Yeah.
There's supposedly a lot of them around UVU. There's a hell of a lot of them in that town and in surrounding cities.
Utah's
hundreds, a couple hundred at least.
Surveillance state. So.
Yeah, it is. So why can't we find a clear shot of his car, of his license plate? Why are we trying to make 2 cars the same car?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
why are we trying to smush pictures in the parking garage?
To make him look skinnier.
Oh, Lord.
Not him, to make some other guy look skinnier. Yeah. There's a lot of bad people involved, but I think that a lot of them were meaning to just fake the thing. Yeah. And someone went through with it. He's got the squib on, maybe he's, that microphone receiver, something is kind of like involved with that squib or whatever, yes. But it's also loaded with something. Or a charge or whatever it is. It's not on, just like with Candace's debate, it's not on me to prove that my theory is exactly right.
No, we just know there's an alternate theory than the narrative. And
it's a lot better than the narrative, period. Yeah. I'm just seeing 2 things converge. Mm-hmm. And those things looks to me, because, he's not going to go in there with that stuff on him if he knows it's actually going to wipe him out, obviously. There is reason to believe that he would fake something like that to save so many people and things.
Yeah, and it would have been faking a mad injury, not a death.
Right. Or maybe
faking a death, I don't know. But I think it would be faking.
I don't think he was going to be faking a death. No. The more that I've thought about it, but those
too many things that wouldn't have worked.
Those blasted marks on his hands. Yeah. Well, maybe no pun intended. There's just no way to get around the fact that the marks are the same in the casket as they are when he's being carried. They weren't on his hands previously. Wounds, they match. I don't believe that he's alive there and then he's alive here and have him laying still in a casket.
No.
Chancing all that. Getting exposed.
Yeah, absolutely. They were not going to go through with all that. And I'm not going to, say it point blank, but like without saying it point blank, the people that I believe that are involved heavily with this are very, very skilled in so many different ways to end a person that would be out of the ordinary.
Go ahead, take it the wrong way. But we hear about this stuff usually years later.
Yeah.
But they are so proficient with that. That's actually a note I have in here. They have a Wikipedia page. They bragged about how good they are at this sort of thing.
With assassinations?
Yeah. So, I just see so many weird distractions going on from George Zinn to the other America guy to just all of it.
Yeah.
And the behavior of not wanting to give up the footage, and then you've never seen footage from his left, have you? Now we're seeing it over people's shoulders. We're seeing their screen,
Mm-hmm.
and they all lied. I was FaceTiming. No, you weren't. We've seen your screen now. You were not FaceTiming,
Nope.
Frank Turek. None of these guys were doing what they said they were doing. Why do you lie so much? I mean, people act like that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean they're guilty of anything. Yes, it does.
It means they're complicit at the very least.
Yes, and I do believe that some are complicit in one thing and not the other.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and now they're all complicit. Question
number 1, and this one's very, very important for people who are fans of Charlie, especially. And it's an important argument for people to have who are kind of trying to throw around what his actual legacy is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did he know? How did he have the wool pulled over his eyes for so long, the people closest to him, that everything is riding on in his life? How did he have the wool pulled over his eyes and all? Charlie's supposedly this gifted man.
Yeah,
very smart. Did he know that these people were evil, or did he only suspect a few? Was he just figuring it out? If so, how in the hell did it take him so long? It took him like 15 years to start realizing that some of the he didn't know all of them that
He
long.
was
You know what I
very
mean?
young when he was brought into this realm.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically didn't have any other life path. It was they drug him on this life path, which eventually he came to really enjoy a lot of the things he was doing. He believed in the things he was doing. He believed in the causes he was standing up
Didn't
for.
really have many friends outside of it.
No.
We've talked about that.
I mean,
sure as hell none at his memorial.
Yeah. Huh.
Memorial. That's another source.
The fireworks show.
Yeah.
I don't think he was stupid. I think he was blindly naive a little bit for a while, probably. Maybe gave some people more chances than others or whatever because of their friendship or whatever.
Maybe faith.
Yeah, a lot of that. And I feel like he did know a lot of things. He was piecing things together maybe for a few years. He was trying to figure out, what the hell do I do with this now?
Yeah, I think so.
What do I do with this information? It's dangerous.
The Doge audit showed him precisely who was behind some of the financial stuff. Other things, obviously, were him saying he changed his stance on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the people around him felt the same way as Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And he learned that the hard way. I'm sure some of them were passionate about it because they are passionate about it. They show that they are every single day.
Yeah,
they raised all their dollars for that purpose, for the temple and everything. I think that a lot of people that don't understand theology don't really know what some of this is with these people.
We're getting APAC money.
But I do believe that, and you also got to ask about the fraud itself. In other words, did Charlie know that he and TPUSA were committing a crime while they were raising political dollars?
Good chance he knew, at least to some degree. And it's one of those things where it's well, is it for the greater good? Okay, well then I'm going to.
I think it got to that at some point.
Yeah.
I think it was already too late when he kind of figured that out. This is just a guess, obviously. But that's what it looks to be. So as far as did he know any of these people were evil? I think that he had his eye on some, like you said. And I think that he was the type that would really, truly work something like that out in his mind and have to see proof before he would accuse. And we're talking about a pretty big group of people here.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's probably the type of guy that's fair enough to where, and mild-mannered enough to where he went through every single one of them slowly. But of course, people are going to notice you're doing that, and you're changing your theological beliefs in a way that affects hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, you're starting to talk about it.
Yeah, I think he thought, like we said earlier, that there was a way to walk away from this and even shake hands with the ones that you think were crooked the whole time, but they were thinking something else.
Yeah.
Now, out of the people around him, we know who all of them are. Who do you think were the betrayers? Who were the people around him? This is just our input based on behavior, studying we've done of the information we could find on their backgrounds, things they've said, times they've lied, and trying to find context with why they lied when they lied, and who lied against who.
Yeah.
Who contradicts who, and does it affect that person? And if so, was it on purpose?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So like, and also the stuff like what's you're seeing on people's phones as far as like what's being filmed, how people reacted on the spot, all of these things, what narrative they pushed in the media. Who is it? Who's your most guilty person?
Yeah, Frank Turek, I think, or
Oh.
Tyler Boyer. I don't know.
Tyler Boyer, he had, man, he's had his problems before. He's had his legal problems, and civil suit problems,
Yeah.
financial stuff and everything, and allegedly some other stuff. He's got some issues that a lot of people are coming out saying, like whistleblowers. That's a guy who really had a chance of being in trouble. So yeah, and it's interesting. He's kind of been out of the picture. And when he has been in a picture, he's kind of slipped up and said some dumb things.
Yeah.
Frank Turek, Mr. Shooting Glasses.
Yeah.
That guy there he's a real trip to me.
He really wants to be in a movie.
Yeah, and I mean his whole thing with the filming that we showed and that we talked about, his obvious contradictions and things like that. That they're just endless. I mean, like I told somebody earlier, I'd love to list them all right here. Just go back to our other videos and see it. I do believe that somehow, some way, he's involved in the dark side of this.
I do too.
I do. I do believe that Tyler Boyer is somebody who said, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do that."
Blake Knapp, perhaps.
Blake?
I don't really know for sure how I feel. But I think, I lean more towards, he is for the dark side.
The bad parts of his personality are coming out constantly.
Lately, yes.
And he's not even supposed to speak as much as he does. But he took that role, despite the fact that he's a guy that has a lot of controversy in his background. And that, in my opinion, my experience, those are the actions, that is the attitude of someone who's guilty of something and is backed in a corner.
Yep.
Not a guy who did something where there's nothing to worry about really, because you already have enough people or powers that be to say, listen, man, this is fake, or it was supposed to be, but now we're in on it, or I think that he's definitely one. God, we might go through this and find out we think all of them were. What do you think about Andrew?
That one is still hard for me at times. But then again, my gut tells me that he more than likely knew a majority of all of these things.
He allegedly talked about how much money he lost when that happened, or when he turned the money down from BB.
And I think that he's somebody who can sell a good, like, innocent puppy dog type face while, being evil.
He was in Hollywood.
So
he's supposedly a Protestant, Zionist Protestant, who I think was raised Catholic according to his story.
Catholic, Mormon, we don't know for sure.
However, on the very day that he died, Charlie thought that he was a Mormon. He's a shapeshifter. His brother was in charge of basically psyops. At Fort Huachuca. There's a lot of military stuff going on there, which sometimes is fine. But in that type of field, when this sort of thing happens, not so much.
No.
He had a background in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He was not one of these guys who came up with the political ideals or even the social ideals or the theology. None of it. Charlie liked it. He thought that he could take him to the next level.
He was made for
Seemed like a nice guy, yeah. But
he was made for. That's why all of us sit here and are like, doubting because that's what they put him out there for.
I do
think
that
position.
That he has some sort of remorse, or at least he thinks that he has some sort of remorse.
Maybe.
He may be kind of like Charlie's, let's go to the widow. What do you think?
The widow? The Black Widow? Yeah. I mean, I obviously, like everybody else, didn't want to believe that was a thing. Yeah. I'm grieving with all my asshole. Shabbat shalom, honey. Put down the phone. Daddy's home. Because, yeah, you had a hand in either the whole act. It benefits you in so many ways.
There's too much.
There's no way in hell that she wasn't a part of any of this.
Now,
stop it.
Now, maybe I would hear the argument from someone that she didn't know at first. Obviously, now she knows.
I don't even believe
He's actually
that.
gone. I do not believe that because of not just a reaction, but you got to admit, no one in the history of mankind has ever acted that way when they're. Not that we've ever seen.
No,
not that I've seen in
life.
life.
Make up that stupid freaking line over and over. You know, well, you don't know how people grieve differently. It's like, okay.
For a year straight?
Yeah, and it's...
Everything's different.
Nobody grieves like that.
Mm-mm.
Nobody grieves like that.
You've said that before, just like that, too. And everyone has to realize that if you're coming from beliefs, she was a Catholic her whole life, but she was making a change to being a Zionist Protestant.
Yeah.
The man that owns the Bible app with her is a very Zionist Protestant. Gaddis. I think it's Gaddis. Yeah. Oh, Lily Gaddis got to be mad. But you've got this changing of beliefs. Charlie, because of the Zionism thing, is clearly going towards Catholicism. He should have found Wesleyanism. She is going in the opposite direction, and she's elated about it. If you watch the interviews, which are just insufferable, like all of her stuff is. But so you've got the change there that is very hard to reconcile politically, morally, ethically, religiously.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about one person thinking that these people that he loved and viewed as chosen and aligned with God and all of this stuff his entire life, and they were the most important people in his life. He's discovered that they're genociders. I'll just call them. And then, so he's heartbroken. He's got to be. He's an ideologue. So, I mean, of course he's heartbroken.
Yeah.
And you have his wife over here that's like, I was actually thinking about going over to that side.
Yeah.
And she proved it when she took over the company.
The Gaza thing looks cool. I think I'll join them.
She took the spotlight when he clearly made it very, crystal clear his entire career, but then specifically there towards the end, and had her parroting what he was saying, that this would not be her role.
No.
If something like this happened.
Be taking care of the kids.
Yes, definitely. And that went for if he was alive. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. He let her have companies. I shouldn't say let her, but seriously, that's the way you come into it, knowing how someone feels, how they want the relationship to be.
Yeah.
So, she goes against everything, basically his last wishes.
Mm-hmm.
He wants a Doge audit. She doesn't go into nobody's finances or anything like that. No,
she's just celebrating how much money they made at the freaking RNC. Oh, wait, not my bad.
In the merch.
The memorial. Or whatever.
Yeah, the WrestleMania. Felt like the RNC because
it was so
Charlie Mania. Yes. And she's somebody who... it's just, I can't see a world where she didn't know about this in advance, and where she's not actually, there may be some sadness there. Just because you're a part of doing something, it was pre-planned and stuff, doesn't mean that afterwards, go, oh man, what the hell did I do? Made my life very complicated at the very least. However, there's financial gain there. She loves being the main character. She wanted, clearly, the opposite of what Charlie wanted from a wife. She's given false motives, pictures to try and claim that she was at this place at this time, things like that.